Hello friends, in today's tutorial we will talk about Markdowns. If you have used R, Julia or Python, you have used them to code any of your programs, then I'm pretty sure you must have some familiarity with Jupyter Notebooks. Although there are several other integrated development environments or IDEs, Jupyter has its own set of advantages. Not only do know, not only are you able to make your comments of the codes look really beautiful and exhaustive and detailed as much as possible, it also offers you the ability to share your notebooks with some other user who can understand all of it in a very easy manner. So with Markdowns, you can do is you can format and arrange your codes in the notebook in such a way so that it's much more easy to follow, much more readable to the users, right? And let us see how markdowns can be created in a Jupyter notebook. And this is very handy when you are trying to share your code with somebody or somebody else has shared their code with you, and the use of markdowns makes it so easy for you to follow it. Let us see how to use a markdown in Jupyter Notebook. So if you have your Jupyter Notebook already installed as a standalone application, you can simply type Jupyter Notebook on your start menu from here. If you have installed Python from the Anaconda distribution, by default you should have the Jupyter Notebook in your system. So once you click on Jupyter Notebook at the start menu, this page would open up where you find a tree-like structure with all your folders out here, and this is your local host. To create a new Python notebook, you have to click on New and click on Python or whatever. If you're using Python 2.x version, you would see Python 2.7 or some other version that you are using. So once you click here, new notebook opens up. Now, as you can see here, there's a place here to give a name to your Jupyter notebook. So you could name it any way that you want. Now, for example, if you see here, Jupyter Notebook is primarily meant for writing codes. By default, you would see on this drop-down menu, you would have the option selected code. You could code anything out here. For example, print. Now, if I execute this command by clicking on the run button, it would print hello world. However, an interesting part here is that we could write a comment out here. For example, a new user who doesn't know what this particular line of code does would find this very useful if somebody writes a particular comment here, what this particular function does. So I would write here, this prints. So now imagine when it's a single line of comment, it's quite easy to write it directly on this particular cell. Even if you would have wanted to write multiple lines of comments, you could use this quote strings, block strings. You could simply say this particular code helps us to print any text that we want to see. Now, if you would execute this, we still would see that whatever we are printing is getting printed here. So anything that you comment out does not get printed in the Jupyter Notebook. Only the results get echoed whichever is being executed. Now there are other ways to write comments and style your notebook in a different way. Markdowns are simple shortcuts or shortcut key combinations or symbols that you could use to format your text in a much better way. So the first thing that you need to do here, you have to click here and click on Markdown. Once you click on Markdown with this particular cell as active, now this particular cell changes from a coding environment to a Markdown. Now you could use different kinds of text. For example, if you want your text to look bold, you could use two underscores followed by whatever text you want to write, followed by two underscores again. If you execute this, you would see this is now in bold. To edit the same cell, we could now go here, click on enter, and we could again use a bold format with two asterisks. Again, this would give us bold. So what we could do here is we could use any of these two to make your text bold. Similarly, if we wanted to do italics, what we could do here is we could use one particular, or we could also use, instead of two underscores, we could use just one. That would give us everything in italic. Similarly, we could also use headings. Now for headings, there are different ways we could do headings. If we use only one hash sign, that would be a heading of format 1. You have to give a space out here. Now if we want a heading of size 2, we have two asterisks. Similarly, H3 would have 3 asterisks and H4 would have 4 asterisks. Now as you can see, this font size is decreasing based on the number of hashes that you have shown over here. Now if you want to show a link, for example, let's take the case of Google. So it's always encouraged, if you are writing or typing out a URL, within square brackets you can just write link and then followed by the URL. Also, you could use an image. Maybe if you want to print an image over here, the idea here is to use this kind of a format where all you need to do is image and then followed by an image link. In this case, I have selected this particular image, which is the image of a star. If I paste this here, execute this, you can see a star mark asterisk over here. You're good. So next, what we can do is, if we are trying to show a list, then we can start with an. Let us now list down all the different widely used IDEs that we generally use. First one is Jupyter Notebook. Second one is Turn. Third one is, let's say, Line. And the fourth one, let's say, is Spider. This gives us a list. Now similarly, if we want to insert a horizontal line, then all we need to do is just 3 asterisks, and this would give us a horizontal line, as you can see here. So you could use this to demarcate one section from the other to a line. Also, you could use backticks. For example, use and this would show up like this. You could format your text in this way as well using backticks. You could also use code blocks, and what code blocks are is really all you need to do is enclose everything within 3 dashes. like this. Print hello Jupyter, then print notebook, and then you are enclosing it within 3 dashes. This will show up as a code block. Like so, guys, I think this is the way in which you can format your text in a much better way, and you could add a lot of diagrams, a lot of illustrations. You could upload an image from your local files, local directory, and you could make your text bold or in italics based on their importance or priority, or you could also just share this code as an instruction instead of directly you wanting to maybe run or execute a part of the code. So markdowns are really important and it gives you a lot of flexibility. I hope you found this useful, and why wait? I mean, just try running such commands and experiment with the different kinds of flexibilities that Jupyter Notebook has to offer, and just get going. Thank you so much for watching, and watch our other videos on Python and statistics and data mining. There are a lot of videos. Check out in the description section below for other videos that we upload. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share your comments, and stay tuned with this channel to follow and be notified about any other videos that we come up with very soon. Stay tuned.